my wife friend. Me and my wife friend. Me and my wife friend. Me and my wife friend.
Hey, we back for another episode of Me and My White Friend, the podcast, not the series, but the podcast. If you want to see the series, go and get us and check us out on YouTube. Today is a special episode, man. We got a legend in the building, in the studio, North Carolina legend, nationwide legend. You seen him on Wildin' Out. You know what I'm saying? He's got comedy shows all over the nation.
Tell him.
His movie catalog is so deep I can't even really get into it. You know what I mean?
Got a lot of motion going on.
A lot of motion. I grew up listening to him all the time on the radio. He's like family. I grew up with his brother. His sister went to high school. He saw me playing pee-wee football.
That part.
It's like an older brother, man. I look up to him, and he is doing what we want to do. You know what I mean? His career is where we want to get to. The legend, the one and only Bdaht. Give it up for him. All right, hit the burp. We got turn it up, motherfucker. We got
I'm in here.
Right, we appreciate you, man.
I appreciate y'all, man. For real. Thanks for having me, bro. You know, it was nothing. A simple phone call, text message, and I'm here, man, with you and your white friend.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but what's strange is that I didn't realize that I even knew your white friend from way back, radio and things of that nature. And I too have a white friend.
Okay.
You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, like my man Josh.
White friend, you know, it's friend, not friends.
It's hard.
You can only have one, right?
That part.
It's tough for us to really let a lot of y'all in. So when you make it into the cookout category, you in there.
There we go, the cookout category. That's the issue. Facts.
All right, so the reason why we got Dot here today, man, we're going to be talking about Black history that they don't teach in school, right? Or why? And Dot, tell them about your show and kind of why we even connected with you.
Well, they definitely have me here today so we can boost these numbers. You know what I'm saying? We want to get the views up. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get the important stuff out of the way,
right? Let's be real now. Let's cut through the BS now. No, man, but like in sincerity, man, like about 5 years ago, when George Floyd was killed, we're all familiar with that. Right. I just was introduced to a book, and it was called The History of the United States. It was like growing up, like especially how we grew up, like going over to Western Guilford and stuff like that, just being around so many white people, like a lot of times we really didn't see a divide. For real. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have a lot of situations where white folk called me the N-word and I felt like I was less than or inferior. I don't have those moments. Right. But in this George Floyd situation, I did feel a divide in the country. Like there was really a side saying that Derek Chauvin didn't do anything wrong. And then there was a side saying they're trying to justify why. And I was just like, yo, what is it? So that book was suggested to me, The History of the United States. And in that book, it introduced Christopher Columbus to me in a light that I had never seen Christopher Columbus in before. Like the way the book described Christopher Columbus, he was like Stalin or Hitler. Like he was a horrible, horrible person. But to us, like they talk, like we had a song with Christopher Columbus on 1492. He sailed the ocean blue. Like, he was this cool ass dude that smoked some weed with the Indians. I thought Christopher, he had a holiday and everything, right? So it was like, well, how does he have a holiday? And I'm not even familiar with Juneteenth.
Right.
Like in that time, like Juneteenth isn't something that was overly educated to us or taught to us. So like that started my deep dive in how ignorant I really was as it pertained to race relations in these United States. And I just started putting stuff on my Instagram like, yo, I didn't know this, yo. But did you know that Christopher Columbus used to scalp people and kill, rape, and pillage, and like he was a horrible, and people was like, nah, I didn't know that about. Did you know that a black woman invented GPS and she went to a HBCU? No, I didn't know that. Did you know that there was a white man that was the whistleblower in the Tuskegee experiment, or they would probably still be running this? No, I didn't know. And just sharing those things very innocently, like, I didn't know. Maybe you didn't either. Like, if you did know, then you did, and if you don't know, because in this country, like they have the CAT test and the SAT test and all these types of things to make it seem like we're all on the same page in learning across the country. But y'all know that's not the truth. That's not the case. Like we all learn at different levels.
Absolutely.
So to think that you know everything that I know, and I know everything that you know about Black history or American history, period, would be naive of me.
Yeah.
So there was an audience that really gravitated towards just the true transparency and vulnerability of, damn, I didn't know that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and from there, Black Effect and iHeart came, and we started a podcast with that about 4 years ago, and we just completed our 4th season.
Congrats on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, congrats on that.
Give him my, you gotta be on point.
You got to, Mark. Get it right.
I got you.
We're gonna have a lot of highlights today. Okay, so when the highlights come, I need your finger on that. There we go.
You get lazy with us sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm listening to you. You know what I'm saying?
Don't worry, you got 2 jobs. You're producer and listener.
Right.
No, man, but like we've been very successful with that, man, to the point where we've expanded it, and we'll get into that more. But to answer your question, I started that podcast very innocently, the same way as you're just posting content on social media.
Right. Folks
gravitated toward it, and now we're all learning together, dog. We're a bunch of know-it-alls.
I have to say that, I don't know if it's a generational thing, but I grew up in the 80s. I think we all did, right? Mm-hmm. And growing up, I've always had Black friends.
Right.
I've always, because, Greensboro, I've always had Black friends, so I've never known the difference. My parents never talked down about Black people or Asian people or anybody. Just everybody was friends.
Right. I can't co-sign because I met his parents and they're sweet. His mom is a sweetheart. Because that's the first thing somebody white gonna say. I've always had Black friends.
I've always had Black friends. Like Travis and Reggie.
Right. But I can co-sign. Yeah. Like he's got genuine heart. You know what I mean? That's why I rock with him.
And so, and like I said, if it's a generational thing where this new generation, they're experiencing all this stuff that the media or social media provides. And I think a lot of it, truth be told, I don't know how you guys feel, but the media is a factor in this where they will.
Well, before you finish, because this goes to the question I asked you before we really get into the other stuff.
Right.
The episode is Black history that it's not told in schools, right?
Right.
And so I want to ask you, because I know how we think,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I know what we think and why we think it's not told in school.
Yeah.
But why do you feel certain parts of Black history is hidden or not told in our curriculum?
So is this before our talks or after our talks? Because Reggie and I, we talk in extent to, he's put me on to game a lot of Black history, things they didn't teach in schools, why they don't teach certain things in schools.
Give me both. Yeah. Give me pre-Reggie or post-Reggie.
So before I feel like me, and maybe this is part of me being ignorant, but just growing up and trusting. You're trusting the information that they are providing for you in school. So that's one thing, is trust. And I think the second thing is actually talking to someone that knows a little bit of deeper history so that the individual can teach the other individual. It's not an institution teaching you a blanketed book of just information.
There's more conversational.
There's more conversational. It's more, what your show is about is like, hey, did you know that these things happen?
Right.
No, I didn't, because I how would I have known unless I either talk to somebody or go read a book in the library and do my research and dig deeper. I wouldn't know. I was trusting the system.
Okay,
and that's the whole. So that goes back to my thing about the media is trusting the media, and that's not just with race stuff. That's with anything. You turn on the news,
for religion.
The news
we're
is
taught
just
to just trust, blindly trust. No, that's ingrained in us to blindly trust. Whether you're trusting this being in the sky, whether you're trusting, like all of those. So I totally can understand that.
Yeah. So it's not like, I had. Any prejudice or anything like that growing up. It's just that I didn't know.
Right. Right.
So, and I'm glad to have not only Black friends, but friends of other cultures, Asian, to educate and teach. My wife, she taught in China for 2 years. So she got a chance to become friends with Chinese people and still talks to them today and through WeChat and, so she got to learn a lot about their culture and what their history. And so I just think that's why I want to travel. That's why I want to travel the world, because I feel like if you travel, you really get to immerse yourself. You really get to know and learn.
You ain't got to travel far. You just got to go to the south side.
Yeah.
You go from the west side to the south side. You can immerse yourself in all the culture you need right there.
They'll teach you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Because like it's those types of systemic divides that allows you to see that this is bigger than just us.
Right.
When you see that on the south side and the east side, on every corner there's a ABC store or that's, but when you go to the west side and the north side, you don't see it like that. You dig what I'm saying? Like you just start to wonder why are the yards manicured on the west side, but the fields, this knee-high grass in Ray, I was about to say Ray Warren, but in Hampton Homes, you know what I'm saying? Why is that? Because of the systemic divide. But it's like, to your point of, or to your question of why do you think they keep it? Can I answer that?
You just said it. You answered it about 2-3 times when you said
what?
Systematic division.
Yes.
And I'll let you elaborate on that.
But even more than that, like growing up, I don't remember many black teachers, and I don't remember many male teachers. Okay? So from that space, I'm being taught by a bunch of white women.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Fair. We can start there.
That's right.
Now, by being taught by a bunch of white women, when you think about the systemic divide, there was one race that was responsible, like black and white, responsible for the harassment of another race.
Right.
That was the white race versus the black race.
Right.
We can agree with that.
Right.
Now, were all white people racist? Absolutely not. Right. But that race was responsible for that conflict. No white person wants to accept the fact that their race was responsible for that type of atrocity.
Right.
So versus trying to educate people and so that we don't repeat those, I think it's a lot safer and a lot easier to just leave it out. Like I wasn't a part of that. That was disgusting and deplorable to me. I don't even want to relive that and make you as children have to relive that. So I'm just going to teach you about the great things about history. Like I'm going to teach you about George Washington Carver. I'm going to teach you about Martin Luther King. I'm going to teach you about Rosa Parks. Right. But they don't teach us about Stokely Carmichael. Right. They don't teach us about Claudette Colvin, who was a black woman who did the bus boycott or not giving up her seat for a white person way before Rosa Parks, just a few months before, but way before Rosa Parks. But because she was pregnant by a married man and because she was a darker skin tone, they didn't think she would be beneficial for the movement. So they used Rosa Parks. You dig? So like, I feel like through school, the white women who taught us from a vantage point of trying to protect us versus educate us in that space. I think they were trying to protect themselves as well because they don't want to relive the atrocities that their race was responsible for, but also imagine being a white. Imagine it's reversed. We're black, and we were the ones that were responsible for tormenting white folks for hundreds of years. And we hit in school, and we have to teach white folks while people that look like us did that to people that look like them. Nobody's wanting to do that. So out of fear of that, I think it's we're just not going to talk about it. That's not going to help anything. When the reality is, it helps a lot. It helps a lot because it shows you that there was a time in this space where we weren't looked at as full humans. We were no more human than this couch that we're sitting on. We were no more human than this holder for this roadcast. You dig what I'm saying? Like we were property. Right. And from there, how do you treat your property? Right. So when you think about that is the foundation of us being here, there has to be some PTSD that's a result of that. And once everybody can start understanding that, there's a reason, pull yourself up for your bootstraps. That's not even physically possible. Right. You literally cannot pull yourself up because this thing called gravity. Yeah. You can't do that. So just that phrase alone makes no sense. Right. So it's once we start, because I agree with you, bro, we are all so conditioned to just believe. Believe your teachers, follow this officer, listen to that judge, listen to this pastor. The pastor then shut the doors and demanded everybody give $20 so we can get $40,000.
We need $40,000.
What's that? You got to trust him. He's doing the right thing. It's clearly from the Lord. No, man. So I think a lot of it was kept from us to try to protect the peace of the situation. But the reality is that's doing such a disservice that there is no peace being protected.
I agree with you. And I will even say I have a little different point of view. I think it was designed to keep the system how it is, where one race, they're planting subconsciously, planting us that we are going to be second-class citizens here. Because I distinctly remember our history is only told, it starts at slavery and we get civil rights. But there was so much more before that, right? Africans and Asians were here before that. Because you got to think, how do you even get a red Indian, right? That's African people mating with Asian people for thousands of years to even create a whole nother race, right? And that's where I got here in the notes. We're going to go over that a little bit. But I think that, and you're right, it had to be done because what they did in this land was designed for them to be their land, right? And we talk about Europeans and whatnot. And the system that they have designed and the curriculum that they have designed, whether you grow up in a household that is not racist, you're white and it's not racist, subconsciously over and over when you see a white Jesus and your curriculum tells you that all black people came here from slavery, which is not true.
Right.
And then they had to go through civil rights. Automatically, you think that, oh, okay, I'm
can't help
here.
it.
Yeah, you can't help it. Whether you know,
by relation, you are superior.
Right.
Like you might not look down at others as inferior, but you carry yourself in a space of
more confidence. Right. And so I think it's designed that way. But if we go even deeper and tell the truth, every culture has been enslaved, even whites.
Yes.
And I like how you mentioned earlier the book that changed your life. One of the first books that changed my life was The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. And that changed everything because a lot of the things he talked about that the Negro or the black man was going through at that time, still going on today in 2025.
Insane.
You know, and so when I read that, it really kind of blew my mind, right? And then a movie that changed my life back in like early 2013 or so. Have you seen Hidden Colors?
I have.
Yes. So
it was like 6 parts.
It's like
of that
6
joint?
parts.
Yeah.
They got a 6th one coming out this year.
Yeah,
actually.
okay, facts.
Shout out to Tariq Nasheed,
right?
And his production. He's Tariq Elite on Instagram and social media platforms.
Facts.
But that also blew my mind because it talked about the history of Africans and how they changed the world way before America, how they were here before Columbus was even thought of. Right. The whole way he even learned the route to this land was from a group of men or Moors. Right.
Yeah.
So why isn't that in the curriculum?
Right. No, I agree. Like when even learning about the Moors and the Europeans and how the Europeans would. And when we say Europeans, we mean white folk.
Yeah. We're talking about you.
We're talking about you. We're not talking about us.
Yeah, right.
Okay. We never been to Europe. Just so we're clear. All right. No, but like the Europeans were like letting the animals sleep in the house and in the beds. And
they're
like
kings and queens.
And the Moors, the black folk, Moors, Google it, Moors. The Moors are the ones who had to educate them on, like that's why y'all are getting sick and dying because you're not supposed to.
We still let the animals sleep in the bed.
Man, Marv just got a new dog. We got
2 dogs.
Y'all ain't listen to the Moors. Still 2025. Y'all still ain't listen to the Moors.
I know. Listen, that's a white folk thing. We have animals all in the bed. I mean,
dogs at that black house know they roll.
Don't get on the couch.
Okay,
don't
you better get your. Hey, you lost your day. Oh, Marv here. You think you lost your? You need to get your ass down.
Right, and I better be in a good mood if you lick me. You know,
man. And licking spots is from the neck to the navel in this area. Nothing else. You go licking faces and nuts. I'm punting. I'm gonna punt a puppy. No, I won't. No, Pete. I won't punt a puppy. Please.
Right. We don't harm
don't cancel your fag. I want to mess up those sponsorship.
Then you have your white friend come over. Your white friend sitting there like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah. Are you cringing? Like y'all put like little. White folks are just so strange. Y'all let the dogs run rapid, but put leashes on the kids. Like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like you're in the mall walking around with little Amanda. Right. She's got a leash around her neck. Meanwhile, the dog dog just run it all
Yeah,
around.
I mean, I don't know. I can't speak on that.
No, man, but like I to that point of the Moors though, like just even with math and just introducing the astrology to the Europeans and just all of the architecture, all of that, like black folk aren't given the credit that they deserve for real, because like you said, the image that's painted of black folk is they all started in chains. And when you think of like, what's my name from Mali? The richest man. Mansa Musa, man.
You going, these are right here in the notes.
Fault, like,
Mansa Musa, Moors.
Come on. Mansa Musa was that dude. The fact that there hasn't been a movie made about Mansa Musa upsets me to no end. I hear that there's supposed to be one in the making. I pray to God that I can get a role, but that's not the here nor there. Mansa Musa was walking around on a tour of Africa with billions of dollars strapped to camels,
giving it out,
like thousands and thousands and thousands of people in a caravan rolling with this man just because he wanted to go see what the other side of Africa was about. Like Mansa Musa was that dude.
Right.
Taj Mahal, like this is Mansa Musa, like, and to not be educated on those types of people that are integral to the bloodline of black folk. It really is a disservice. Even, and I don't mean to talk too much, but like even the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, like it really upsets me the imagery of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense that was presented to us. And I make sure that I say the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense every time, not just the Black Panther Party or the Panthers, because it was the Black Panther Party for self-defense. They were trying to defend their demographic, their neighborhoods, right? Like they didn't think all cops were pigs or all white cops were pigs. Just the racist white cops were pigs. And I don't mind calling racist white cops pigs. You dig what I'm saying? Like Karens. Like every white woman ain't a Karen. You dig what I'm saying? But the white women that are just gonna call the cops because some black folks over here, you should be called a damn Karen. You know what I'm saying?
I think personally that people that do that type of stuff, they should be the ones charged.
Agreed.
So if the cop shows up and you're just chilling, but they call, that should be, you're wasting our time, Karen. You're coming with us, or you're getting a ticket or
citation,
or something.
And that ain't even race specific, Mark, to the point where like when women, and race aside, when a woman says that a man raped her, right? And then if it comes to find out that he really didn't, whatever time he was going to get, her ass should get that time.
That'll make them think about that.
That'll stop a lot of that. You dig what I'm saying? Like, because there's so many times folks is crying whoop. Now, folks that have really been sexually assaulted and raped, like, please,
that's
to the further extent of the law, I'm with stoning whoever did that to you. But if you're lying about that just to come up on some money or just so they can settle, so that you can, bro, you should have to do the same time that they would have done if they would have been found guilty.
That's facts. I love that. I love that interpretation.
And so this question might be for in a few minutes, but I do have a question.
We're all over the place. Sorry. I know you had a script. This
is good. And so my question to you is that we have this history, okay? And your show and our show with being friends and learning about other cultures, where do we go from here? How can we as a society say, okay, we know this information. This is, like you said, atrocities, horrible things happen. But 2025, how do we turn the page and so everybody can get on the same page?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Marv, to be quite honest, I don't know if I have an answer, because I think there has to be more people on both sides, black and white, that are willing to have these types of conversations. And I just don't think there are enough. I just think there are too many, for lack of better words, there's too many white folk that just feels like, why should we revisit that? It doesn't help at all. And they just don't see the help in it. And until that audience is sort of converted, then it's going to be the way it is. Like I did an episode on, I didn't know, maybe you didn't either, where I categorized white people in thirds, right? Like I view white people in thirds. You have a third, the bottom third. Now the bottom third, that's just racist white people. They ain't going to change. Not going to change. You're an N-word.
You can say whatever you want to them.
There's nothing you can do about it. That's just that third. That's 33% of white folk. You can't do nothing about it. Then you got the top third of white people that thinks that the way things are happening to black folks and minority in the country, they think that's wrong. They do not agree with that. However, they do not want their privilege to change. They do not want their, like, if I want you to have equity and equality, but if it infringes upon what
right? Or if it's better than me, right.
But then you got that middle third. That middle third is the third that knows that their life will change if it means equity and equality for black folk. And they're cool with that. Mm-hmm. They're cool with their lives changing and their privilege being diminished if it means equality and equity for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's how, so you got folks, and to me, that top third, that's the most dangerous third. The bottom third ain't the most dangerous. You know where they stand. They racist as hell. Like, ton downtown, get out of there.
Yeah,
You already know what it is. But that top third, that smile in your face, and you're right in there in the front lines at the at the rallies.
Yep.
But I've still got to go and hit a target though, man, because you dig what I'm saying? Like there has to be, because allies are not white people who support black people when the cameras are rolling.
Right.
Allies are white people that support black people in rooms that black people don't have access to.
Right.
All white people have been in rooms, and I know this because I've talked to some of my white friends. All white people have been in rooms at one point in their life or another where something was said by a white person that was completely out of line, and you had to make a decision. Do you check that white person or do you let it go?
Right.
In my opinion, if you let it go, you're not an ally.
Right.
It's just that simple to me.
Yeah.
It's just that because if you took the stance of he didn't say it. There's no black people here. Nobody was offended.
Yeah.
That's the wrong, because you should have been offended to the point where you should have made them feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Because until it's that types of checks and those types of rooms, back to the answer to your question, Mark, until it's those types of checks and rooms we can't get in, we'll never be able to fix these types of conversations.
Right.
That's facts. And I love that. And Marv, you better keep that noted if you're in any other situation.
Oh, yeah.
Mark was like, damn it, I should have said something. I am an ally, damn it. I got black friends. Look at Reggie. He's right there.
Right. We got a show together. But I would say to piggyback off that, everything you said, 100% facts. But I also think it starts in the schools. And however that happens, like, our new administration is talking about getting rid of certain types of curriculum. Yeah. And people ask me about it. How you feel about it? I was like, well, if we get rid of it, let's bring a whole new one in. Because if you call us African American, give us that true African history, right? Don't start us right off in slavery. Start us way back in the empires, right? That
kings,
were
queens,
kings and queens that was thousands of years. Tell us the truth about the pyramids.
Yes.
Tell us that those statues that y'all knocked off the noses, those were actually black people of African descent. Tell us about Mansa Musa's. Tell us about the Moors. And then tell us about the transition, how we got to slavery.
Right.
Right.
Because the reality of that is, when you start talking about it, there were Africans selling Africans.
Yes. Right. Yes.
So you can get into that, but just trying to dismiss the whole thing like chattel slavery didn't happen here. The literal word, because you talk about everybody was enslaved, yes, but nobody, no race was ever enslaved for the length and the cruelty that the chattel slavery was here in these United States.
Yeah. That's
Even the Jews, like the Jews, they went through a horrendous episode. But that was what, 2-3 years?
Right.
If that, we're talking 400 years, guys.
400.
Yeah.
400.
That's
It's a big difference.
That's a big difference. That's a huge
Big difference, Mark.
Huge difference.
It's a big difference, Mark.
Yeah.
So like, it's like,
And even more so, and we know, and this is kind of going back to why, but our nationality was taken. None of us. I don't know. I haven't had a DNA test, but
I'll be wanting to do an ancestry too.
It's hard to. I know friends that can go to. I got African friends that can go to Africa and they can spend months there because they got family there and this and that. And like I said, you call us African American, but none of us got no cousin that I could call up and be like, "Hey, cuz, I'm coming to Ghana. I'm gonna stay for a little bit," right? And that matters. And I think that division is intentional. It's intentional because if you not, and we were fighting for civil rights at a time, we really now and maybe moving forward, and they know it, really need to be fighting for human rights, because human rights is backed by the United Nations, right? And then we'll be forced to get those reparations that we've been talking about for years, right? But it kind of goes back to you say, if we do get those reparations, now this influx of money, that 33% that, and really it's 33 and 33, so that's really 66% of who really don't want you to get straight or do better than them.
Okay.
We got
Let
a
me
problem.
see how that goes.
Right, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now you got a problem.
That's why.
So
because you got that again. just like you said, you did it perfectly. Like 66, because you got the 33 that really don't want you to have it, but then you got that top third that's, again, they want the equity. Like, wait a minute, so now they all gonna be richer than me, or
Right.
wait a minute, so do I get 40 acres and a mule? Wait a minute, hold on, I don't want them to be that equal.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? Like, so that group is dangerous as hell because they control a lot.
Right. So going with that, and we may change the title because the way this thing flowing. Far as Marv, and I'm gonna go back to you because you ain't really answered the question.
Okay,
you just talked about your experience.
Right.
Why is it in your mind the way it is? Far as the hidden history.
One word: power. Having like you guys have already touched on it multiple times, but that power. You know what I'm saying?
Have you taught him pause yet?
I don't think he knows pause, but it's not that fresh where he can catch it.
Okay. Carry on. I want to get childish, Marv. My fault.
But that was a great answer. Power, right?
Yes, no, I agree. Carry on. That'd be the
Yeah, power. And just having that control.
Yeah.
I feel like, and that's where that systematic racism comes into play, where, like you said, that 33% and that 66%, they don't want.
Do you agree with that? Am I out of line by those numbers? In all honesty, like
to be honest, I don't know. Because here's the thing. Looking at it, and I've thought about this in the past year or 2 years, really, since 2020. But when I'm out in public and I'm at the grocery store, or I'm talking to a group of people, or I see a group of people talking, maybe having lunch together, I see black folks and white folks having conversations, laughing, having a good time, out in public, and so it, to me. And that's where the media comes back into play, is like, is everybody racist like the media says?
Right.
Or do most people get along?
Right.
I think
because I don't know any of white people personally that's going out and saying you're the N. You're the N word. You're the hey boy, come over here. Like I never hear that. I mean, that's just not appropriate.
And I think it goes back to what I was saying. It's taught in this system to hit your subconscious mind. Whether you know it or not, you're being taught that you're better, right? Your religion with certain pictures, like I said, if we go to white Jesus, blue eyes, it's hitting your subconscious
that's
mind.
Fine. That's fine, but I'll tell you what. As a white guy, and the police get behind me, my butthole still puckers.
Really?
Really? So for real, like, there's a cop. Oh God, that's because I have a bowl.
Yeah. That's a difference.
If you that's because you ride like a N-word. Yeah. You ride like a brother. So you should get
Oh God.
You ride
I hope
dirty.
they don't smell it.
Right.
Yeah, so you got the same fears that we got. Yeah. But
So I do
like,
think,
no, Reggie was just in here, officer.
Right. I just dropped my black friend off. Right. But I do think it goes back to, if we all were taught the true history just of human history of all the different cultures, like you said, we did go through the worst type of slavery.
Absolutely.
But if we knew that everybody went through slavery, all dynasties have their up and downs, even America, the kids and the next generations, they will be looking at each other differently. We already kind of see it. I kind of see it on social media, because now with, your TikToks and everything, this information is just at the tip of our hands, literally on our phones. So you see it, but there's still propaganda, even, and like you said, the media every day is preaching division, whether we know it or not. And I love how you said we got to be more open to having these type of conversations. Yeah. And I will mention this one conversation that me and Marv had, and it was during 2020 when the George Floyd thing happened. We were both in California, just starting the podcast, and we kind of said this off air. And Marv was just like, he kind of asked, like, what's it like being black, right? And that's a question that's kind of hard to answer most of the time, but I kind of broke it down to him like this, like, I had read somewhere where, like, people with tattoos and this was before tattoos became real popular, but have a higher sense of awareness, right? Like you can kind of tell when people are looking at you and this and that. And I told Marv, I was like, imagine having a tattoo that you can't take off. As a young age, I knew what racism was early, very early. And especially being dark skinned, you get it early.
From white folk and from black folk.
White folks and black folks.
Black
I knew all the black jokes.
African booty scratcher.
Right, African booty scratcher. Midnight, everything.
But see, like even that, and not to go too crazy, but that is a derivative of that enslavement period. Like that is directly related to the Willie Lynch letters. Like how do you conquer a race? You turn them against each other. You turn the men against the women. You turn the dark skins versus the light skins. You turn the fat against the skinny. Like it's a divide. It's a constant amongst us. That's why, like you don't hear white folk refer themselves as light skinned whites or dark skinned whites. You're just white folk, whether you got a tan or not.
Right.
Black folk, we find a way to divide our black folk. Oh, I'm caramel. No, I'm mocha. No, I'm chocolate. No, I'm. It's insane.
Yeah, that's why. I never really thought about that. But like. It's not, like
it's ingrained, bro.
That's crazy.
It's ingrained. Like, and see, like, I think that was a powerful question you asked him, and I'm glad that you gave that enough thought to really give him a real answer. Right. And I wish we could have more of those conversations, because even when you asked, I was like, damn, what does it feel like to be black? Because I'm fortunate enough to be in a space where my children don't have to have the same suffering that I had growing up. Right. You dig what I'm saying? They don't live in River Birch and Hidden Lakes. You dig what I'm saying? Like we have a nice house and we stay on a nice side of town where we're the minority in our neighborhood. You dig what I'm saying? Like, and that in itself poses its own issues, because I want them to understand there is a pride in being black. Like your blackness does not make you inferior. Like just because you don't see a lot of representation of yourself in these spaces, that don't mean you ain't out there.
How are your neighbors?
All my neighbors are white. I have one other neighbor of color, and they're Indian.
No, but like, how do your white neighbors treat you?
Wave. Like, hey, like it's like, how you doing? Oh, you got a new car? Or hey, you washing your car? Like, it's cool. Like, but it's all surface. Like, they would never invite me into their home, and I would probably never invite them to my home. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I saw that question one time. Like, you've been into Marv's house, I would assume.
Yes.
Other than Marv, how many other white people's houses have you been in?
It's actually, so when I moved to the Western District, I was in Smith District. Okay. When we were in apartments, then we moved to the Western District. And initially, there was Josh Wainick up the street, the Wainicks, give them props, because I was able to go in their house. Now, I was afraid of dogs at the time. I got over that fear, so it was a little iffy because they had a dog, and they were like, why is he afraid of dogs? Which that's ingrained, you know what I'm saying? But I would say I could really count about 3 or 4. There was another family up the street, Ann and Joel Dobson. They were always, their grandma always let me in. Brian up the street. So I had about 3 or 4, and it was welcoming. But our neighbor right to our right, Mr. Charles, initially when we first moved out, they never spoke to us, right? And my little brother, when we moved, he was probably like young, 5, 6, still in La La Land as a kid. Yeah. You know, he would speak to him, hey, and then he didn't speak. And my mom got on him one day. She said, look, you ain't got to speak to us, but if my little child that is innocent and don't know nothing speak to you, you better speak to my child. Right. From then on out, Mr. Charles spoke to everybody. him and my dad in the future, they started talking about cooking and everything. Yeah. And he saw us grow up. And Mr. Charles, he passed away about a year or 2 ago. But from then on out, it changed because, he has his own thoughts of what black people are going to be. Oh, they the first blacks in this neighborhood. They going to ruin the neighborhood. Right. They ain't going to do this. They ain't going to do that. But it's just like having these kind of conversations. You don't know if you don't know. That part. Right? You don't know if you don't know. And so
rarely are we in each other's worlds. Right. You know, like I told you, I had a white friend, like my man Josh Graham, like we're a mirror of you two. Literally, like he does a sports show, like, and Josh is just like, you're way more cooler than Josh. Like Josh, I'm serious, man. I took Josh to a Travis Porter concert, and Travis Porter is on stage, and he's like, all right, which one is Travis Porter? I'm like, all 3 of them are Travis Porter. You freaking idiot. But Josh, so like I went to Josh's house, and when I was sitting, I was like, damn, like other than going to a senior skip party back in 1997, That was my first time being in a white person's house, for real. And it was like, I was like, damn, like, how often do our cultures even cross where we can even do that?
Right.
How comfortable are you with white people where you are invited into their space and they're invited into your space? So many times it's just so surface.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, hi. But it's not really, you don't really know these people.
Right. Or hey, I'll be right back. Let me go inside real quick.
Exactly. And don't come out till the next weekend. Exactly. So like involving or inviting people into your world is very important. Like, again, that was a very, very good question. And again, it was super dope for you to put some thought into it and share that, because I wonder what it's like being a white person. I do. Like, do you feel your privilege, or do it's just as normal as your hands and your feet?
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know.
I feel like, for me, the privilege has to be, and this might sound bad, but pointed out, I guess, because like you said, like, you know, just looking at your hands and your feet, like, pointed out to me, because I have no clue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'll tell you the thing about Marv, which I know, and we've had this discussion. We talked about it kind of the other day. He grew up kind of like the black sheep in the white, because he had a cliff note, speech impediment, so he got picked on a lot, right? And so,
you was black.
Yeah. Okay.
And listen, my parents and I, we lived off of Friendly Avenue in a 600 square foot condo, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Just I'm the only child, you know. So
I stay right over there on Tower Road.
Yeah, so
I
it's
know
not like
exactly
I was,
what it
you know, in Summerfield or Oak Ridge, or any of the, you know, big ass mansion or anything like that. You know, I mean, I was blessed to have a big family and have a supportive family, but nobody was like flush with money. You know, it's just, I had the thing, my parents provided the things I needed and some of the things I wanted, you know, and I had friends of all backgrounds growing up. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I just
sadly, Marv, I don't think you, because this is what I hear. You don't view it as privilege because you don't feel like you're getting any types of benefits. Like, you're not getting hooked up. It's like going into Hardee's and knowing who's working behind the counter and not having to pay for your food. That's privilege. That's how you view it, right? But from my perspective, if the cops were called, me and you were arguing in front of a store, and the store owner calls the cops and says, "There's an altercation in front of my store. I need someone out here right now," and hangs up. When the cops pull up and jump out that car, who they running to?
The black person.
Yeah.
That's the privilege.
Yeah.
You dig?
And
like,
that
that's the privilege. No doubt about it.
That sucks.
But that's the privilege. And I know this for a fact because we had a situation at one of my son's schools, and we were out there, and the school called the cops on us, said that we were out there loitering. Now, we had a private school where we're paying parents, and we had just tried to have a conversation with the dean of the school, and they told us that she wasn't there. So we were outside trying to figure out what we were going to do next.
Right.
They called the cops. And now it was maybe 8 of us. 7 of us were black, and there was 1 white guy there. So when the cops pull up, I'm talking about they hop out and they're like, "You all need to leave," not asking any questions, nothing. And all of us, he sees all of us first. White guy comes through us and is like, "Well, what seems to be the problem, officer?" Whole situation de-escalates. Instantly. We watched it happen in real time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, we got so angry at the school because we were like, yo, that's how black folk get killed, man.
Yeah. On accident.
Yeah.
On accident, because if the cop is hearing we're having some people out front, they're loitering, they're making a lot of fuss, he's gonna come up already ramped up. When he pulls up and he sees a bunch of black folk, he's like, all right. We need, I already know y'all ain't gonna want to pay attention and listen. I need everybody. So now he's gonna be overly aggressive because he feels like we're gonna be overly aggressive. Yeah. But him just showing up, popping up on paying parents, that's gonna make us overly aggressive.
Right.
Like, who the fuck even told you to come here?
Right. My child goes here.
Now we're back and forth, and now we're going to jail.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the privilege that you wouldn't experience or you wouldn't know you have until you're in a situation when you see it in real time.
Here's something for you. Okay, so my wife and I were driving down West Market Street about a week and a half ago, and we see these kids on the side of the road. It was dark, it was at nighttime, so we were driving by, and they were like going in the street, West Market Street, and doing jumping jacks and just being kids,
nuisance.
But so nonsense. Yeah. So it's like, do I call the police and say, hey, they're out there. I'm calling because I don't want them to get hurt.
No, Karen. You let them get hit by a car. You let them get hit by a car. They learn a damn lesson.
You let them motherfuckers get hit.
Yes.
Let them motherfuckers turn into speed bumps. And I bet they won't be out there jumping jacks no more. That ain't your problem.
Right.
That ain't your problem.
Right. And that's where it comes in. The white folks get in the business and they don't call the cops.
This is what you do. If you call anybody, you call Reggie.
Right.
You will not believe these fucking kids I just saw out in the street, Reggie.
Holy shit.
Hey, y'all been have a good laugh about it. Get your bowl and take your ass home to the wife and kids. No. You're investing way too much time and too many tax dollars by calling the cops for some kids. If them kids ain't busting out. Now listen, you see kids throwing rocks from the bridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's some harm there. You dig what I'm saying?
You can cause an accident.
It's a freaking lulu. You can really hurt them. But kids just running out being stupid, they'll learn a lesson.
Right.
Either they'll get hit by a car or their mama say, get your ass in this house. Either way, you don't have to call the cops.
And I'm gonna say this before we wrap up too. And going back to the question of like how can we change things? People were talking about defunding the cops. I think we should actually fund the cops, but push more blacks, Hispanics, Latinos into it, because a big part of this thing is that and I can't remember the exact term for it. If I get it, I'm gonna put it on the screen. But it's basically like on Family Feud. If you watch a Family Feud, we have tribalism where you're gonna naturally go for that black family on Family Feud if they face no white family, or if they face no Latin, and it's vice versa. And most of the time, cops, if you see a white person, you're a white person, you're a white cop. That could be your nephew, that could be your cousin, that could be, and the same for the black cops. That could be you're gonna operate different, right? And I think we need to fund the cops and put more familiar faces in familiar neighborhoods.
I'll take it a step further. I think that police officers shouldn't get a certificate or go through the academy or whatever. They should have a bachelor's degree. They should go through maybe even a master's degree. They should really go through more schooling and more training. Yeah, they should.
I don't disagree with any of that. I know that their pay should be a lot higher. Like I think. Honestly, and we say this a lot, but it's real. Like nurses, doctors, teachers, and police officers should be paid astronomically more than basketball players and baseball players and football players. Like I understand they provide entertainment, and I enjoy the hell out of all three, but do we want to be protected?
Right.
Now, with that being said, if you're going to pay them that dollar, I agree with you now, Marv, on how educated they should be. Yeah. Like you should not be getting $150,000, $200,000, $250,000 a year or 5-year, $100 million contract to be a cop, and all you have is a certificate fresh out of high school.
Right.
No, so I do think I think both things should be true, but I also feel like I double down on what you're saying about defunding the police was a horrible idea. I understood the logic, and I understand it, but that's impossible. Like funding more people that look like the people in those communities, that's your answer. Right. You dig what I'm saying? Like, because there was a time, like I do remember, like the crossing guards being police officers, and we knowing them. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you see them every day. How you doing, Mr. Jones? Like you see them, like, and seeing those types of people, seeing those officers just walking their beat in the neighborhoods and stuff like that, you become more comfortable with the presence of a police officer, so you don't got to pucker your butthole every time one gets behind you.
And then brothers, blacks who have such a there go 12, Now kids can take pride if I want to be a cop when I grow up. Yeah. You know, if I want to be a firefighter, they'll take more pride in that.
Agreed.
But we could go on for hours. This is
way part one, man. I gotta come back, bro.
I do have one more question for you, real quick. One more question for you, only because I like everybody I've worked with in the past, okay? But I'm going to bring up some people that I've worked with in the past. And I distinctly remember in 2020, we were in California, and I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning because they promoted it all day. 107.5 KC, I was talking to 102 Jams.
I remember that.
Oh.
I felt personally like it was kind of forced. It felt. Roxy, I love Roxy was having no part of it. None. No, Katie was trying to talk to her. None. Yeah. Nothing.
I remember that.
It just felt, just because of the situation that's happening and capitalizing on that situation.
felt gimmicky.
I just felt kind of like, why? How come how come you didn't have this conversation before?
Yeah,
I don't know. And like I like everybody. I love my old coworkers and stuff like that. But it just not to knock anybody, but it just felt. And I don't know how you felt during the interview or whatever during the talk.
And he's talking, and there was a guy on their side. I can't remember his name right now.
Jason, Matt, and Jared.
Now, I know Jared, of course. Might have been Jason. Which one is like a super Republican?
Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
Yeah.
You could sort of tell that he was sort of not with it either. Like he was sort of like Roxy in that idea.
Yeah.
Like Roxy really, from what I can recall, she wasn't with just trying to have the whole thing. And for those that have no clue what the hell we're talking about right now, I did morning radio on 102 Jams here in North Carolina for like 17 summers. And of course, Marv was on, he's familiar. He worked with 107.5 KZL, Jerry Katie them in the morning. Right. So he was familiar with that brand. And when the George Floyd situation happened, we were needing one of these conversations.
Yes.
And
the conversation was needed.
Yes. We were the hip hop station, super urban, super black. They were the complete opposite, super white, super pop.
Right.
So in theory, the idea of us having a conversation made sense.
Yes.
I just feel like there were some questions left on the table.
Yeah.
From both sides. That sort of was wanting to have the conversation, but also not knowing how much of the conversation to have. Yeah. It was live radio. We cut off all the music and went straight live. And it just...
It's like, this does not feel forced to me.
No,
this
absolutely
feels like a natural conversation. And we're learning from each other. We're having,
and I didn't really know what their reasoning was. I didn't know if it was for ratings or really for reflection and to be educated on the matter.
Right.
I feel like, so to answer that, knowing them, I feel like they were really into the conversation. They really wanted to have that conversation and learn. But like you said, a lot of questions and a lot of topics were not discussed and not brought to the conversation.
Yeah. I wish I can't remember it. You got me now wanting to go back and re-listen to the whole thing. Just like, damn, we should have asked them. Let's have a part two, Jerry.
Right, let's go.
I remember that because there were folks hitting us up like, yo, why you ain't ask them white folk? Damn, I ain't even think about that. My bad. Right. But damn, maybe you should have produced the show, stupid. But I don't know, man. Like, I think honestly, that was supposed to be like the first of many. We're supposed to do another one. But I think that some of the people felt like it wasn't as productive as it should have been. So instead of trying to revamp it and make it productive, it was just like, forget it. Let's just move on. But I think that would have been a start of something good.
Well, we want to have the right conversations, and we appreciate you coming in.
Anytime, bro.
And like I said, you a living legend.
I am.
In my eyes, and in everybody's eyes in the community out here in North Carolina. We proud of you.
Thanks,
we proud of everything you've done in entertainment, and we know it's only going to be more. As we grow, the bigger we get, we gonna have you. If
Absolutely. I need to get in some of these skits, man.
Definitely.
And I told Tiff, I said the next time y'all do that game show series,
oh
I
my God, Black in the Day.
I want to be a contestant. I want to be a contestant.
Like we got to do a daggone me and Josh meet up with Reggie and Marv. We got to figure I'm telling because me and Josh we do a game called Grammar School. His name is Josh Graham.
Okay.
So we do Grammar School. And Grammar School is I give him black words and phrases and see how many of them he knows.
Right.
He rarely does good.
You kind of we'll talk about something. We kind of dabble in something like that too. But if before we go, is there anything you want to say, promote? We know
what you have
everything, whatever you got going on, let the people know.
Just follow me on all social media platforms, Bdaht TV, BDAHT TV. My platform is $1 in a Dream.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You hear that? $1 in a dream, and I'm just asking anybody that I come in contact with for $1. Ram, what is it? Mr. Alumni 2025 on Cash App. When I started at Winston-Salem State in 2000, I was a broke college student with $1 in a dream. And if I can now get a bunch of dollars, I got 100,000 followers on Instagram. If all of them gave me $1, we could fund so many scholarships for future Rams, man. So just $1 is all I'm asking. 4 quarters, 10 dimes, 20 nickels, 100 pennies. You dig what I'm saying? Just $1 $1, man. It's a very small amount to you, but when I add it all together, it's going to be huge for future rounds, man. So I'm asking folks to please assist in that. Thank you.
Yes.
Also, of course, please support the podcast. I didn't know, maybe you didn't either.
Yes.
We do 28 brand new episodes on Black History in February, but now we've expanded it and we do weekly drops of anything that I didn't know, maybe you didn't either. Like, I'm quiz time. Which NFL team is the only team that has a plant as a logo? Again, which NFL team is the only NFL team that has a plant as a logo?
Man.
While they try to figure that out, I'm just going to tell you, go to IDKMYDE _ the front _ in the back. IDKMYDE on Instagram. Please follow us there. Please send me any history you would like for me to look up, any stories you might. I didn't know this, Dot. Did you know this? Please send it there. Please, I would love to engage with you all there. Now,
man, I'm still stuck. I can know Stanford in football, but
NFL. What NFL team is the only NFL team that has a plant as a logo on the helmets? Yeah, don't do that. You can get in trouble. You get in trouble. The Saints. The Saints. The emblem on the Saints is the fleur de lis.
You're right.
Now dig this. Now let me tell y'all how this came full circle. I did an episode on that. I can tell y'all ain't been listening to the expanded season because y'all would have known it. So I did that episode. Then I'm sitting there just on Instagram the other day, and in New Orleans, okay, the French were in control of New Orleans during the enslavement periods. If there were any enslaved people that ran away, they would get a brand on the side of their face or on their shoulder. Because the French were running it, it was a brand of the French heraldry. And the French heraldry is the fleur de lis. The same brand that's on the Saints helmet was put on enslaved black people back in the enslavement periods. And I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Maybe you
didn't either. Go check out the podcast, man. Bdaht, thank you so much,
Reggie,
man.
thank you, man, for real.
Like I
Thank
said,
y'all,
we
guys.
love
Congrats
you,
to
man.
y'all too, man.
Appreciate it,
Keep grinding, man. Like, y'all know how this goes, man.
Yes.
Consistency is key.
Right.
Consistency, man. Like, that's what I tell everybody. Because people think getting the podcast game is easy.
Right.
It's not. We got a bunch of cameras in here. We got we had to make a schedule and get here. You dig? So like, it is really time that goes into it. And when you first start, you're very excited. You put out a bunch of episodes, but at some point, it becomes work, man. So big shouts to y'all for still sticking with it, man. I think y'all got a great product, and I can't wait to come party with y'all in LA.
Hey, you're already in season 2 and the movie, so
you see that?
Season 2 in the movie.
I'm just a dude on the couch sleeping the movie, just smoking Mars pot.
Right. Yeah.
We're doing half baked 2 on y'all.
Right. So y'all tune in, man. This is another episode. We appreciate get
it out, Rich.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all.
There it is.
And you know where to find us at Me and My White Friend on all platforms: TikTok, Instagram. Go check out season 1 on YouTube. We are producing season 2 now. And if you haven't listened to season 1 of our podcast, all 30 episodes are on all audio platforms. Season 2 at you right now. We love you. Sign out. We out, baby.
Okay. Bye.
peace.
Me and my white friend. Me and my white friend.
Oh, yeah.